Today we'll be going on an exploration of foot mobility and movement. We prefer to use yoga tune-up balls as they are a bit pliable to work with, but you're more than welcome to use a tennis ball or something similar. We'll start by placing the yoga tune-up ball on the ground, and you're going to connect the mound of the big toe to the ball, and your heel will be connected to the ground. Start by lunging forwards, trying to keep the knee tracking over the second to third toe, and applying as much pressure as is comfortable for your body. You're going to start to systematically work across the top of the foot. So working from the mound of the big toe all the way over to just beneath the baby toe. And you'll go back and forth, adjusting your position as you need to, and making sure if you do need to adjust that you will step off the ball, adjust your position, and then step back on. Here, as you're working across the top of the foot, you might shake the hands out if you find that there's a bit of tension in your hands or in the body. And then just remember to diaphragmatically breathe into the belly and out through the nose. You're more than welcome to start exploring movement of the toes as well. You might splay the toes and curl the toes for some extra movement, and starting to work a little bit closer towards the arch of the foot as you roll down. And working with the arch of the foot might be a little more sensory rich. So what's wonderful here is you get to choose how much or how little pressure you apply to the ball. As you can see here, Lauren is starting to lift her heel off of the ground, and the toes start to connect to the mat as we work towards the heel. If this becomes challenging for the standing leg, you might take a hold of a wall or a chair, so balance is not so much of an issue here. From here, you're just going to freestyle roll across the foot, making sure to get the outer edges of the foot and the inner edges, and really wherever your body is telling you to move. There truly is no right or wrong way to do this, as long as you're not leaning into pain. Of course, there might be a mild discomfort if you do have tight feet, and if it's too much standing up, you're more than welcome to take a seat on a chair as you roll your feet out. Now we can see that Lauren is starting to stretch the big toe. So pressing the big toe into the ball and then leaning away. And she's meeting that ball with resistance, keeping the arches of her feet active. There's an upward pull in that arch. You can think about squeezing the mound of the big toe to the heel, and that might engage or activate the arch. And starting to work across the top of the foot to the toes and pressing the toes into the ball. Again, giving the arms a shake if you need to. Taking breaks as you see fit. And you might even try to keep that activation in the big toe as you pull away. Could you pull your toe towards the shin? And what sort of activation do you feel there? We're going to switch sides. So if you are using the yoga tune-up balls, try to grab the other ball just so it gets an even amount of squish. And same thing here, you're going to start to work across the top of the foot, honoring that this is a totally new foot to work with, so you might need to apply a little less pressure or a little more depending. It also is really great if you can take a moment to acknowledge the work that you've done on the first foot and the difference in sensation that you might feel with the ground too. So that's a wonderful way to test any new mobility or new suppleness that you've created in the foot. Working towards the arch of the foot, tuning into how that feels, if there is a difference from the left side to the right side. Working your way towards the heel and driving the heel into the ball and then all over the sole of the foot and letting yourself go where you need to with this. Hanging out for as long as you need to in one spot and making sure to roll to the outer edge and the inner edge of your foot. Again, if your standing leg starts to get fatigued, feel free to take a hold of a wall or a chair. Okay, stepping off of the ball, we're going to, again, test that big toe flexibility. Really important in walking, in life. So pressing the mound of the big toe into the ball and then all of the other toes, and you're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. Pressing the toes into the ball and then coming back to the big toe, trying to connect the mound of the big toe to the ground. Just trying your best. This might feel impossible at first. And then seeing if you can keep pulling the big toe towards your shin as you pull away. And just be curious about what happens. Okay, so we're going to place the Yoga Tuna balls off to the side and shifting your right leg back, you're going to press onto the top of your right foot, letting your brain know that you have a top of the right foot in a staggered stance. And again, this might be really sensory rich, so you get to choose how much pressure to apply. And if it feels all right, you might start to move from side to side, rolling across the top of the foot. Being mindful not to collapse on the ankle. It's almost as if you're dragging that right foot towards the front of the mat or the front of the space that you're in. And then go ahead and switch sides. Start to get a feel for this movement. And if it feels okay, you'll move across the top of the foot. Check in with the breath. If you're holding your breath, maybe you need to dial the movement back. Or if your breath is steady and easeful, you might be right where you need to be, or explore applying a bit more pressure. Thank you for joining us on our foot exploration. I hope you have happy feet.